stacked up after their first week of competition. We have two teams with a perfect record sharing first. That's newcomers Immortals and Energy. The bulk of the lead is tied for third with 1 loss and 1 win, while Team Impulse and Team Liquid will both be searching for their first win next weekend. And of course, here now are the 5 players who turned heads this week in their positions, starting in the top lane with Impact.
Yeah, and it's pretty impressive considering he only played 1 game, but this 1 game he played today was very impressive. Very good split pushing. He capitalized on the advantage. He made RF legendary, a complete non-factor in the game, and huge reason Energy won that match.
Yeah, steps back in and shows why he deserves that spot. In the jungle, it's Rainover, and this is another example of someone who didn't have a trouble adjusting to a new environment. He was out farming like crazy against Rush yesterday. Today had a ton of presence, was just another factor in that 18-minute win. Then our OP mid laner has to go to GBM.
Yeah, fear the bow tie. 2 Baron steals on day 1. Oof. By a mid laner that doesn't bring Smite. Because there was a moment where mid laners brought Smite and they would have a higher chance of stealing Baron. Absolutely ridiculous for GBM. No nerves coming from the LCK to the North American LCS, even though he's playing with completely new teammates. So well done for GBM.
And claiming the AD carry honors its Wild Turtle. 11, 1, and 4 yesterday. Deathless today in that perfect victory. Showing a lot more of his aggressive style. Smile on his face the entire time. It was great to hear from Pobelter that the environment seems to be feeding him and energizing him to play better. And of course, finally, our OP support is going to go to another Immortals player, Adrian.
It's hard not to give it to Adrian. Didn't die the entire week. Just amazing presence, roaming around the map, helping everyone in an incredibly fast game style that Immortals played. I was really looking forward to seeing him play the rest.
All right, well, we've got 5 OPs, but only one can stand alone as the best. And this week's MVP goes to GBM. Now, GBM had 2 clutch Baron steals and a number of flashy plays to end his debut week in the North American LCS with a perfect 2-0 record. This here, too, his escape that netted a kill. I mean, it was, although maybe not the greatest lane phases, people were sticking together with him. He almost single-handedly won this Dignitas game for Energy.
That's got to hurt to watch for Team Dignitas fans at this point because his KDAs aren't incredibly remarkable. His early laning phases weren't super good, but he looked so impressive. And like you said, because of the 2 Baron steals, was the deciding factor. I mean, it's hard to, with how impressive Immortals was this week, to not give MVP to one of their players, but you look at the strength of schedule, you look at the way they appeared to be in the game and how much impact they provided individually. Because everyone on Immortals was doing amazingly, so it was hard to identify an MVP, but GBM was a standout player this
Right, you could say that anyone on Immortals was an outstanding player, and therefore when you zero in on GBM's performance and being kind of the reason why they ended in a 2-0 week, it's got to go to him.
Most valuable player.
Yes, exactly. We did it. All right, well, looking at next week's schedule, things will get underway on Wednesday with Riv Freak and the gang breaking down all the news from around the world with a brand new primetime league. That hits airwaves at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Then on Thursday, the European LCS returns with Giants versus G2 Esports. After that, Rockhat will battle Elements, and Origin will try to get their first win against the Unicorns of Love. But we know that you're really itching for some more NA action, and that will take place next Saturday with Rush going against his former organization with Team Impulse versus Cloud9. Then it's TSM squaring off against Immortals, followed by Team Liquid and CLG. So as we look ahead, TSM versus Immortals, this might be one of the one of the first tests for Immortals, but even then we saw TSM, and in my interview with Doublelift and Yellowstar, they're still a little apprehensive about their early weeks in the LCS.
Yeah, TSM did not look clean for the first 30 minutes of either of their games, and it's still kind of miraculous that they won that game today against Team Liquid, whereas Immortals, this will technically be their first test because against a big-name team and a lot of big-name players.
Yeah, needless to say, I'm excited to get some more information on all the teams that we have in the LCS this year. Now, we want to extend a very special thank you to Dyrus for joining us on the analyst desk today. It's always nice to have him. And now for myself and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.
2 new teams.
2 new teams.
Push and bring new teams in.